Hello, hello, and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is my co-host, Danny. And for the week of March 19th to the 24th, we have some transits for you.
Yep. So we have the 25 and the 46. We move into the vessel, and it's being couched by these two very interesting gates. We'll talk a little bit about it when we get into it. And this is the time of year that we make our first definition. I'll explain that when we get there.
Interesting. It's also the spring equinox. So
God,
like,
I forgot the most important one of the more, yeah, the spring equinox, everyone.
yeah, spring equinox. So enjoy the increased sunshine in the northern hemisphere, at least. So diving on in here, we have our mandala view. So the sun in gate 25 is the spirit of self, and it is an identity center gate. And the earth in gate 46 is the determination of the self, and it's also an identity center gate.
Yeah, these two gates go together. And if you look at where they are, one is right in the middle of where every gate in the spleen is about to start up. And the other one is in the quarter of initiation. And it's about to make a definition in about 3 weeks.
Real interesting. So the sun in gate 25, this is innocence, or the gate of the spirit of the self. And this is the perfection of action through uncontrived and spontaneous nature. Gate 25 is an identity center gate, part of individual circuitry. So think empowerment as our keynote, and it is part of the centering circuit specifically. Gate 25 hooks up with gate 51, which is the gate of shock, and the 5125 make up the channel of initiation. So gate 25 flows out of fully accepting and living surrendered to one's form. And it's innocence designed to love without discrimination. And it empowers others with the potential to love life and everything equally. It also has the mystical potential of transcendent and universal love. And the spirit of innocence is always being tested here. And it's meeting initiations as a spiritual warrior or sometimes as a fool. And it's about leaping into the void and landing on your feet.
This whole landing on your feet is what this channel of initiation is all about when you have the whole channel there. 25 is designed to catch the warrior. So there's fire in this whole stream here. And 25, it's part of the centering circuit. And no one gate is, I guess, would be the most important in the centering circuit, but the importance of 25 would be universal love of all things universally. And while that could be, its polarity of, sort of hate of all things, it never wants to stay there. It is the love of all things, and it becomes an innocence because if everything is sort of equally lovable, that's a surrendered, innocent place. How can you tell one thing from the other? You're sort of designed not to. In fact, the melancholy of this gate says, I'm sad because I understand too much and I'm insignificant. I love too many things, or not too many as in it's bad, just that it's so much. And so 25 has this mystical quality to transcend and be a true universal love of all things. But even on its mundane route through a person's life, if you have this gate, it's still doing that. It's just happening on a more regular basis. And that's where the sadness over insignificance comes in. And this gate can choose to leap right along with the 51 as a thing. It's ready for it. It's designed to be ready for it. And it says that uncontrived action is the basis of centering, and centering of the centering circuit, which this is part of. Centering is about looking inward. It's about going inward fully as it relates to your own behavior. Who are you? What are you doing? And the power to physically stay there until you sort of have something. And 25's innocence says, not only will we stay here till we have something, it says it doesn't matter what we have. All things are perfect if you let them be, especially if they're you. So this gate can daydream about great big grand things. 25 is a time to be like, allow your innocence to be a shield. If you have 25 in your body graph, or just this week while it's here, allow innocence to be part of what you lead with. No, that's counterintuitive to a lot of things, right? Got to protect yourself, got to strategically make sure you got this and that in place. But I would say throw caution to the wind at a time like this, because the innocence will reveal itself in something much bigger than you, and your melancholy over insignificance will end up turning into Well, what was I thinking? Of course I'm insignificant, but this is great. Because, and then,
The
and
innocence.
also, well, also, and in the lower trigram especially, you come to realize I'm not actually insignificant. I'm just sort of play an insignificant thing as it relates to my place in the universe, but okay,
I'm
great
just happy to
acceptance
be
here.
here.
I'm just happy to be here, and I love you, and I love my pet rock, and I love my guitar, you know. So this is cool. Don't ever expect 25 to say I love you more than anything in the whole world, because the best it can do is say mostly I love you as much as everything else in the whole world, right?
That's really good. I like that. And I definitely relate as a gate 25.
Yeah, that's right. We're both vessels over here, the two vessels.
And this
We
is my
speak.
conscious son. This is my birthday son.
Oh, happy birthday, Moni.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Almost. Yeah.
you. So yeah, gate 25. It's a special one.
Yeah, that's very powerful. This gate is very, very powerful to keep a person centered and innocent and beyond reproach in a way.
Diving into the earth in gate 46, this is pushing upward, or the gate of the determination of the self. And this is gate 46 says that good fortune may be perceived as the result of serendipity, but derives from effort and dedication. Gate 46 is an identity center gate, part of collective circuitry. So think sharing as our keynote, and it's part of the sensing circuit specifically. Gate 46 hooks up with gate 29, which is perseverance, and the 2946 make up the channel of discovery. Gate 46 is focused on quality of life experienced in a physical body. It's about love of the body and the central honoring of the body as a temple. And gate 46 is always in the right place at the right time, and it lives with good fortune and discovery of serendipity. And success or failure is dependent on the determination of the higher self. It's an abstract process of surrender to the cycle of experience. It'll either fulfill potential or bring chaos.
Right. And the filling of the potential and the bringing of the chaos are dependent upon really one thing. Serendipity doesn't take place if you're thinking about it. This is 46 mandates that you lock yourself in place and bring yourself present. Just no different than at the starting line before the coach fires the flare to begin, right? You're present, waiting, and this is present in the experience. 29 is right below 46, and it's a great sacral power to persevere and say yes to something and enter into an experience. 46 is our human bodies and our own love of ourselves through this universal love mechanism to love being in our body at the moment we're experiencing everything from a conversation to an incredible romance to whitewater rafting, you name it, or mundane things. And so 46 says, I must be now. And if it's not now, it brings chaos. And as soon as it is now, the serendipity that shows up is guaranteed it, in a sense, by nature, by the virtue of all the stuff that it's done. Just like the thing says, a good fortune that's perceived as a result of serendipity, but it's derived from these efforts that you've been putting in for so long. And you don't even know that it's there. So every time you find yourself saying, dumb luck, not so much, even though it is at the same time. It's again, so many of these gates describe a mystical process. So 46, it wants to push upward in the experience, and it can't do that except in the now. And it has to be a shared thing. It has to be shared with the person who said yes below, and it has to collect essentially the movement of the entire sensing circuit of the abstract circuitry, because it's all got to get delivered to 13, into the memory hole, into the place that basically is responsible for taking the love of being in the body and keep pushing it upward into the expression of the prodigal and all the things that experience brought, and the accounting of what it all was, and the telling of the whole story, and the bringing of it all together in this incredible teaching moment, essentially, is what the prodigal does. 46 empowers that. So yeah, you got serendipity. Yeah, you might think you don't love being in your body, but I'm telling you, this week is a week to recognize how much you love being in your body. And it's not because you're pretty or sexy, it's because you're freaking alive. And with 25, it helps hone in that experience of being alive right now, because 25 comes along and says you're innocent. You universally are the love. So why not do something with that? Bring it forward in an experience that's shared. So empowered sharing is what this arm of this cross does. Empowered, self-centered, moving inwards to self, moving back out to share, and basically be in that experience with the other if possible, and bring it all to the gate 13 for the ultimate telling. Got a real interesting spot in the graph, that's for sure. It's quiet,
Perfect.
right? You don't hear people talk much about 46 for some reason.
No, because I mean, it's the thing that looks like luck and serendipity, but it derives from effort and dedication. That just happens. I have gate 46 as my Earth, and so it happens all the time where I look like I stumble into something, and people have called me savant on things, and it's just like
Right.
they don't realize that I've studied XYZ and been practicing all these different seemingly disparate skills that then magically coincide and overlap with skills with this unrelated thing.
All day long. I love the serendipity of dumb luck.
And we have our incarnation crosses for the week. So starting off, we have the right angle cross of the vessel of love, which adds gates 10 and 15 into the mix. And these are people who sense a higher cosmic, transpersonal, and universal love and provide balance to humanity's direction or drive to survive and replicate the species. Then we'll move into the juxtaposition cross of innocence, which adds the 58 and the 52. And these are people who are focused on enjoying life and can convince you to feel good about the nature of yours and the pursuit of happiness. And finally, we have the left angle cross of healing, which adds the 58, 52. And these are people who focus on maintaining the joy or the quality of life through the love of being alive in a healthy body, who have a special sensitivity to those struggling with dis-ease and are here to be healed or heal through medicine, quote, quote.
Medicine is very much the energy that they have, or it could be actual various medicines, especially starting with plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so starting with the vessel, we move into this first line of this 46 and this 25. The 46 is about being discovered, and dedication in obscurity that leads to this unexpected discovery right out of the obscurity. So right when you think nothing's going to happen, because you're sitting in this vessel of love incarnation cross, which is just designed to be present and innocent, um, everything happens from that place, is what it says. And then you move in through the juxtaposition cross. Now, don't forget, you just came off of crisis. We just left, what the gods wish to destroy, they make crazy. And so what ends up getting destroyed is the stuff that probably needs the vessel the most, and the stuff that didn't go crazy and didn't get driven mad, leaving Eden from before, is in a place to become an amazing teacher. Essentially, this all leads to 13 sooner or later, and then ultimately to 33 as the expression of that. So the healing has always been interesting, because this healing very much is healing yourself, but it is also healing. It's healing in general. The thing is, with 52 and 58 there, that's service. So it can get a little intense. Let me share my healing techniques with you, and I insist, and I'm enthusiastic about it. And I want to get there, right? Because that's these are the format gate and then the other root gate. These are the only two energy gates of the logic process. And they're here. So the energy gates of the logic process are here to aid what happened at this time we were a vessel. So the vessel of love is it's an anchor. It's an anchor in the year. And again, it's about to make a definition. The very first definition that ever happens as you move around the wheel is a heartbeat. And the beauty of life, it's 5125. The heart beateth, and then it leap into life. This is the beginning. This, you can call this Jesus's gate. This is the 25, that is, and that this cross is here to heal humanity ultimately. I mean, altogether, it's going to get shared sooner or later. It just came off all that great experience from a few days earlier, right? And that whole move onto the plane to recognize, hey, we're supposed to be here. And it moves into now we're going to heal. And that healing leads to a very logical process after that. It leads to service, straight out of the vessel into the service to humanity. It's an amazing process.
You keep saying that the 2551 is the first definition. What do you mean by that? And elaborate on that, please.
As you go around the wheel, the wheel starts at 13, so we'll just pretend, starting at 13.
Those are the first two gates that would then form a definition.
Right.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, for
And as you
anyone
keep,
curious, I don't know if we can see it on there, but as we're moving from the 13 down and around is what Danny's talking about, is that's the first two gates in that chronological order that, if united, would make a definition in a chart.
Yep. And you have to go several more gates before you start filling in the rest of other definitions. And then as you get halfway around, obviously you filled in a ton of different, channels, but this is the first one.
That's fascinating. I've
That's
never
wicked
known
fascinating.
that. And you were talking about it, and I was like, what is he talking about? And that was my guess. And I was like, if I'm curious, I'm going to ask, and hopefully that will help our audience
I
understand.
find it amazing, this quarter of initiation that's supposed to get everything started, rise the ashes from the death of mutation from before. And the very first, as it's going through, the very first life force that gets peeled out of this movement around the wheel is initiation. That gives this quarter its name, so.
Fascinating. Here we have our hexagrams for the week. First up, we have the sun in gate 25, which is the spirit of self, or in our I Ching book, it is called hexagram 25, without entanglement, which is a neat way to look at innocence. It's not being tangled up in something.
I agree.
Right? And the trigrams are heaven over thunder. And the image reads, below heaven, thunder moves. All things interact without entanglement. The ancient kings, with abundant growth in accord with the seasons, nourished the 10,000 things. Those who are without entanglement are like the natural world, effortlessly in harmony with the quality of the time, connected to the natural movement of heaven with the immediacy of thunder. The ancient kings could nourish the whole world with the abundance of seasonal growth without ever making anything grow.
The immediacy of thunder. I love it. So not thunder as a destructive force,
There's a
thunder
spark.
as a spark, as the immediacy of it. I think that makes sense because this is an uncontrived nature. It's a childlike, uncontrived nature. All the famous texts from thousands of years ago, somewhere in all of them speak of a child that leads the way, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's 25. It's sitting right there. Even when it's in a grown-ass adult, it's still the child, and it needs to be.
We return to that innocence at that point of the spring equinox. Is kind of interesting.
Yeah, spring shows up. We're sowing seeds. Everything's about to start anew. We have to be in our body at that point because we're out sowing seeds.
Mm-hmm. And even I'm just thinking like all the little baby animals, or it's like if you have like a pond or a nature spot, you'll start seeing like the little baby ducks and the little baby geese.
Yep. The life begins.
Mm-hmm.
It initiates it sparks itself into life.
Absolutely. So moving on to the earth in gate 46, which is determination of the self. And in the I Ching book, it reads hexagram 46, pushing upward. And the trigrams are earth over wind. And the image reads, center of the earth gives birth to wood, pushing upward. A noble one with patient character builds up small things to attain the high and great. A seed germinates and the plant begins to grow in the center of the earth. The noble one has the qualities of both the earth and the seedling. Flexible, feeling her way upward, small and resilient, and also yielding and nurturing this growth with all the patient power of earth. She understands that pulling the seedling will not make it grow faster. And so the many small things she achieves will amount to the great things in the end. That's cool.
Many small things, the result of much work.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, yeah. This talks about that sort of, this is like the mundane version of the serendipity that shows up. And people should really get used to this. At this week, while this is in the sky, these two gates, this is a time to lean into certain things. And for 46 to recognize, start to look at how much you do and don't love the things that you're doing. Now's the time to answer all kinds of profound questions. When I say answer them, it's time to put them out there. I can't tell if you're going to answer them or not, but I know it's time to get them out there. 36 and 6 just told us that. You know, hey, don't, you're having a baby. Don't worry about who's noticing. You know what I mean? You can't be humble now, right? They don't, not going to concern it. So 36 and 6 was like, I don't care who's looking. Oh, well, I farted. You know what I mean? That's 36 and 6. Sorry if I had to throw some boy stuff there, but it's true. And so you then move out of that into this, and it's just the innocence of please be present and go ahead and decide what you do and don't like. Start to feel it. Innocence will tell you, the uncontrived nature will almost speak like a generator. I don't like it. The chemistry in your body with this 25 and this 46, regardless of what your type, will at least give you a chemistry of what you do and don't like. Innocence can't be non-innocent. It's not right. It won't work. You know, being in the now, pushing upward, having this thing mundanely, experience by experience, be discovered, channel of discovery, is a catching process, always catching the energy of yes right below it. You know, catch the energy of, do you like this job? Do you like this thing? Do you like this place? Is your daughter in the right room because she's got an open G center? You know what I mean? All of it. Don't even, no stone unturned with this. If you feel like looking into it, this is a time to look deeply into it. And you'll come up with 3 or 4 questions you get to ask yourself about things. And you'll start to realize, oh, I don't really like that. And you'll start ditching things that don't matter. There's nothing wrong. 26 and 45 can let go. Absolutely. 25 and 46. I think I said that backwards. I said 26 and 45.
You
That's so
did. You,
funny.
you skipped the step.
Yeah. So I forgot what I was just saying, but yeah, now's the time to decide what things are right for you. And it's not like an answer you can get in any kind of textbook way. Just make it as an intention and allow everything that you thought you might want to look at, put it on the table, allow it to be on the table. Don't let anything be taboo right now. In other words, your innocence will see you through. And you can't be embarrassed with 25 fully. I mean, you can be, but it won't last. 25 is innocent. I could give a bunch of examples of kids and the stuff they do that doesn't embarrass them, but I already gave one, and so I'll leave it there. But
Yeah,
no,
that's
it's innocence.
fun. Yeah, I was gonna say encouraging, taking care of your body, right? 46 is about honoring your body as a temple. I have this as my natal earth, and I love the little things to just like pamper and take care of my body. It's like, washing your face, splashing some water on your face, or like washing your feet before bed, flossing and making sure your teeth are nice and clean, putting on some nice lotion, taking a nice bubble bath, those kinds of things. Be grounded, right? It's the earth. So grounding in that love and comfort of the body and how good it feels when you take care of your body, and how weird it feels, when you're in a little bit of funk and it's easy to just like veg out on the couch. But if you just like get up and like wash yourself up, how much nicer and better you feel, and how much that could really improve upon your day and your feeling and experience. You can totally change the trajectory of your day. And then enjoying, the uncontrived nature of the 25, of just the innocence and the love of all. And it can be scary to open your heart and put yourself out there and be a loving being. And I know how easy it is to be hurt and put up those spikes and barriers and defenses to the world.
Don't do it.
Yeah, or instead of spikes to the world, maybe find ways to better take care of and protect the body of the 46, right? To have that container, that innocence needs a container. Children can be innocent, but they're also vulnerable in that innocence. And so they need the container of the parent or the guardian's love and the protection and that watchful eye. And so honoring yourself, honoring your body, creating a container and a space for yourself to express that innocence, even if it's just in your own living room with the curtains drawn, whatever that is, play with that, encourage that kind of spontaneity and the joy that can come from honoring the body as the temple and creating that container for that innocence to shine through.
Very much agreed, Moni. I'd say people can look out for what they're going to look out for. Just, face the things. You got it. 25 has been catching that dang 51, and 29 has been 46 has been catching both of them, two motors pointing a bunch of yes at it. Yes, let's leap, and just plain yes, right? And the 29 and the 51. So, you're already good at it, in other words. So take a few leaps, but just watch out for the timing. Let it be on the timing that is your strategy and authority.
That's it. Always ties it back to the strategy and authority.
Every
That's
time.
always the key. That's like the cornerstone that we can always go back to is your strategy and authority. All right. Well, thank you, Danny. Thank you to our audience. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing. It's all very fun and exciting, and we love hanging out with you guys. So we'll catch you next week for some more transits.
Amazing. Much love. Catch y'all later.